The first card you have for your past is the Page of Pentacles. So yeah, I'm just seeing busyness, very, very busy at this time, a big learning curve as well. You had a lot to learn and you had to kind of speed that up and start doing all that. I'm seeing, you might have been getting up early, you might have been staying late, or at least trying to get up early. You had a lot to do. You had a great lot of work to do, huge volumes of work I'm seeing. And you just had to fit so much more in than you usually do, a lot more into your day. And I think, again, I'm seeing learning. So you had to learn something very, very quickly. You had to get up to speed with something very quickly. So you're able to do whatever this was and get these things done that you had to do. Yeah, I'm just getting this feeling that you knew you had to learn this very quickly for a specific purpose. But there was also a lot of frustration around this, because I think there was something behind this, or someone behind this, that made you have to rush. And I think if someone hadn't have done something, or made a mistake, or done something they shouldn't have done, you wouldn't have had to rush. So you knew you had to do this, you had to do lots of work, and you had to rush and get things finished, but there was frustration behind it because you knew that if this person hadn't have done whatever they did, you wouldn't have had to have rushed and you wouldn't be so kind of frustrated and rushing around. That's what I'm seeing in that. And also, with this thing that you had to learn, you love learning. You really love learning. The Page is all about learning. He's a student. And you love to learn. But you would have liked to have slowly absorbed this properly and, learned carefully and properly. You like to do things properly. You don't like to have to compromise or cut corners or rush through things. And but I think you're forced to do this. You're forced to do this because of a lack of time. And, this all went against your natural flow or your instincts. Your instincts are to do things properly. But you're kind of forced to go against that. That's what I'm seeing. So yes, the next card you have for your past is the Three of Cups. So yeah, from the outside, I think if anyone looked in on your life or looked in on you, they'd say things look fine. They look fantastic, happy, abundant, and all of that thing. So you weren't unhappy. It's not like you're walking around miserable, but you were very, very, very stressed. You're trying to keep up with everything that you had to do. And things were kind of whizzing around in your mind, like a kind of a washing machine going around and round. Look at these three women dancing around in a circle. It was like your mind was kind of spinning around with a million thoughts and everything that you had to do. And these women have been drinking as well, so you didn't have a clear mind. You had a kind of a crazy mind. Not that you were crazy, but it was just because you had so much going around and around in your mind and so many things you had to do, and you felt like you really couldn't do anything properly. You wanted to do one thing properly and thoroughly and finish it, then moved on to the next thing, but you couldn't do that. You were kind of spinning around with all these different things. There's a lot of stress around you, or there was at this time, and I'm seeing people, especially one person who really didn't appreciate everything you were doing and everything you had to do. And I'm seeing this person asking you to do things for them, or asking you to help them with things, or asking you to do a kind of unreasonable amount. And you're a kind person, you're an efficient person, you could probably do all of this, even though it was stressful. But I think at this time you've really found yourself that you really could not do that, and you had to say no to some people. And I think it was because you were rushing around doing all this work because of something that someone did, an error or a problem, or the way that they were, or something like that. I keep on seeing that. And if it wasn't for that, you wouldn't have been as frustrated and upset about this. You would have been busy, you would have been tired, and, you know, obviously stressed and trying to get everything done, but you wouldn't have had that big element of frustration around this. That's what I'm seeing. So the last card you have, your past, is the Emperor. Yes. Okay, so yes, definitely this is going on in your workplace, and, you know, you don't dislike your work, you're actually fine where you are, you don't have a problem, and you're good at what you do. There isn't a great atmosphere I'm seeing, there isn't a very good atmosphere where you are, but generally, you know, because you're good at what you do and you're fine, it's not a disaster. But at this time it did feel like a disaster, because I think there was someone who might have been in charge, or they thought they were in charge, they thought they were the Emperor, and I think this person causes a lot of stress because of their actions, or maybe it was because of their inaction. Something they were doing, this is this person, I'm seeing them now, they think they're the Emperor, they think they're in charge, they think they know everything, and they think that everyone else has to run around doing all the work, and they can kind of be bossy. It's something like that. Now, again, I keep on seeing this rushing, not wanting to be late. So if this resonates and you're still feeling really stressed, you're feeling this, you're rushing around, I'm just seeing someone's doing this. Like, try not to let someone else's deadlines be your deadlines. Now, I know if they really are your boss, I know it's not easy to do that, of course. If they tell you, you have to do this, you have to do it. I mean, pretty much. But unless it's completely unreasonable and ridiculous, and it's harming you, and it's harming your mental health and harming your physical health, it wasn't doing that, but it was on the verge of doing that. So be very careful if you're still going through this. I just think, you know, if someone's too disorganized to get things done on time, it shouldn't be on you. It should be on them. But it was on you. Not only you, other people, but that's what I'm seeing around this. Be very careful. The first card you have for your present is the 8 of Wands. So yeah, action, busy, running around. Again, I'm seeing that. But now I'm seeing at this time, you're kind of not rushing around aimlessly. You're kind of a bit more focused. You're a bit more focused on one kind of thing. You're still frustrated. You're still not happy by, you know, with the whole kind of way that this has all happened to you. But you're doing it now. And yeah, you're focused on the goal. You're just focused on doing this. I'm seeing, you know, things are going to start to speed up now. You are going to finish this quite soon if you haven't already. And I think when this is all finished, when this deadline's out of the way, you're probably going to do something. You're probably going to say something about this inefficient person. And yeah, this whole thing's just so exhausting. I can really feel this. And you don't want this situation to be repeated again. You don't want this person to come out and kind of make mistakes, do everything wrong, and think that everyone has to kind of help them or do everything for them. That's what I'm seeing. You might even think about moving, or you might even think about leaving this work situation. It might get that bad. Yeah, you might want to move, because this card can be about traveling or moving as well. And I'm also seeing that you have your own personal goals. You have your own things, your own projects outside of the workplace, things that you want to achieve and that kind of thing. You want to be able to pursue that. And you weren't able to do that while you had this great big thing going on. That's what I'm seeing. So you're kind of frustrated about that too. The next card you have for your present is Strength. So yeah, I'm seeing someone in this card who's really interested in coming closer to you. Obviously, this is a love connection, or a potential love connection. Now, you might already know this person if they're potential. I think you might have known this person for a long, long time, because this infinity symbol standing out to me on this card. This person is a very, very patient person. They're probably waiting for you. They're probably waiting to approach you. And yeah, they probably know that this wouldn't be the right time for them to approach you and offer you this love. And they're right to not do that at this time because you're kind of crazy running around busy. They have amazing instincts, actually. But they really, really want to tell you that they want to come close to you. They really want to tell you that. This is next to the Eight of Wands. This is the card of action, wanting to rush towards you. And, you know, I'm looking at this Eight of Wands again, and I'm seeing these are like arrows kind of shooting through the sky toward their target. You're their target. You are their target. They want to fire these arrows in the Eight of Wands toward you, but they're waiting. They're waiting. They're taming themselves with this lion. They're holding back. And they're waiting for things to be a lot calmer and a lot less stressful for you. And they're right to do that. They're very clever. They're very good. So, yeah, the last card you have, your present, is the Moon. So again, this is about this person in the Strength card. They really do have a lot of emotion for you. They are thinking about you all the time. They might even be dreaming about you, but they're trying not to let themselves get carried away in their feelings, because that's what happens in the Moon card. They're also afraid that you might reject them. That's another fear they have. Deep down, they're fearing that. They don't let it show. But they're trying not to let all of these feelings get to them. They're trying, really, really trying not to get too lost in all of these feelings. They don't want to end up overthinking and going a bit crazy about this. They're trying to be very careful about this. They don't want to be lost in this. So, yeah, they're trying to tame their own thoughts as well. So they're keeping busy, they're doing other things, all of that kind of thing. Because if they stopped and they were still and they just sat there thinking about this, they'd start to stress and they'd start to feel a bit worried and lost in their emotions. That's what I'm seeing, and they're trying not to do that. So yes, the first card you have for your future is, yes, the Tower. So yeah, I'm seeing this kind of very stressful work thing again. I'm seeing a lot of tension, obviously, in the workplace. You might not have finished all of this work yet at this time, but it was happening quite quickly. I'm also seeing other people, not just you, having to run around after this kind of person in the Emperor card. There's a lot of resentment building up in the workplace. Not just around this person, but generally. I think the general management or the owners or whoever it is who runs this isn't running things very efficiently. And obviously, if this person's acting like this and they're getting away with it, nobody's seeing it. And, you know, yeah, I can see why there's a lot of resentment. I really can see that. And yeah, you're still going through all of this at this time. A lot of stress, all of that. And, you know, again, just know that you're not the only one going through this. Yeah, there's a real atmosphere of resentment building up, especially around this person, but everywhere else as well. And this is eventually going to hit them in some way, I'm seeing. They might see themselves as the Emperor. They do see themselves as the Emperor, but look at what happens to this crown in this card. It's kind of going to be, lightning's going to strike it and it falls off. And they're going to lose their crown. That's what I'm seeing. In some way, they're going to be in trouble or found out, or something's going to happen. And a lot of people have been propping this person up, propping them up, like this tower, propping it up. But I think people are going to stop doing that. They're going to get sick of this person and fed up with it. And what happens when you stop propping up the tower? It just falls down without any foundations. They don't have their own foundations. They don't stand on their own 2 feet. People have to prop them up, and they're not going to do it anymore, and they're going to be in big trouble. That's what I'm seeing with that card. Now, the next card you have for your future is the Five of Cups. Yes. Right, so I'm really sorry about this. I keep on seeing workplace situations. Now, if you want a love reading, I do that mostly. I usually do quite a mixed reading. I don't know what I'm going to do. Sometimes it's love, sometimes it's something else, sometimes it's mixed bag of all sorts of things. If I see, I'll just say, that's how it is. So yeah, this is what I'm seeing in this. Obviously, whoever this is for, whoever this resonates with, this is their focus. Their focus is on work, and their energy is around work at this time. So that's why I'm seeing all of this, obviously. So I'm sorry if this isn't you. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of changes happening around your workplace, not just around this person. They're around the whole workplace. There's a lot of problems generally around your work. People might be moving away. They might be leaving. I'm not saying that you're going to be fired or anything terrible like that, but I think I would be prepared if I were you, because I think a lot of people are going to leave, and I think the atmosphere is not going to be good. It already isn't that great, and I think once some people leave who you're very friendly with or whatever, it's not going to be that nice. It's going to be very different. So I would anyway, even if you do choose to stay there, I would keep my options opened. I would look at other options, work options, update your resume, all of that kind of thing. If you need to, just keep some options open in case you need to walk over this bridge away from these cups that have fallen over, because that's what's happened around your workplace, or what's going to happen. But don't worry about this. You're not losing your job. I'm not seeing that. But I am seeing that you might not feel very happy with all of these changes that are happening. And you're very frustrated anyway, I can see that. The last card you have for your future is the Three of Wands. So yeah, again, I'm not seeing you losing your job or anything like that, but definitely, I'm definitely seeing a lot of changes around your workplace. Just know there are a lot of options and opportunities around for you, golden opportunities. You know, even if you don't want to leave, just look at them, because there are some better ones around the corner. There are some much better opportunities around that are much better than where you are even. I'm seeing some beautiful things, because look at this golden sea and this golden sky. There are things that have better benefits for you, better pay for you. I'm seeing even nicer atmosphere for you, much better things for you. And yeah, 3 ships are coming in this card for this man. 3 ships are coming in. Opportunities are going to come in. And I keep on I'm still picking up on a lot of anxiety around this work situation. But this is telling me that you shouldn't be anxious about this. You're a hard worker, you're smart, all of that thing. I'm seeing that in the Page of Pentacles. But also you have a lot of good options around you. You have golden opportunities in front of you. That's what I keep on seeing. So really, if you stay there, it's not going to be fantastic, as I was seeing in this whole reading, but you have that option. You have other options in front of you as well. So don't be too stressed about this. I mean, obviously you're stressed with having to do this big project or whatever this is, but after this is over, really think about this carefully and consider a lot of different options that you have in front of you. That's what I'm seeing.